In this section, we're going to see how to create branches in EEMS application. Let me open up the browser, and I'm running this on my local laptop. So to create branches, we need to get on to organization management. For that, we need admin rights. Whoever has admin rights can get onto the organization portal. Ask for username and password. Enter your username and password. And enter. It takes you to the organization application. So on the left hand side, you can see here the branches, and this is where we can create the branches, creating a new branch. Before we create a new branch, let's get a close understanding on building blocks. We have covered this earlier, but branches and building blocks are associated with each other. We will take a look of each and every building block here and see how we can use this on the branches. So let's take departments. I created a couple of departments here. If you look at here, I created accounting department and biology department, computer science department. So keeping in mind, let's take an organization has a school, an intermediate college, and an engineering college. So we're going to create 3 different branches for this organization. So I defined building blocks for all my branches, related to all my branches in my organization. And you can look at here, I made some of them as mandatory. Example, accounting department is mandatory, so every branch requires this department. The same way HR department is mandatory for every branch. Also defined some designations here and made some of them as mandatory, like accountant should be there in every branch. Documents required for admission and fee types. Define couple of fee types here. So interesting point here is when we define the fee types in building blocks, it will take some additional parameters like what kind of you give the name of the building block and the code of the building block and the type of the fee. Basically BizCap supports a couple of fee types here: the general fee, tuition fee, hostel fee, and miscellaneous fees. You can define your fee building block with any of these types. So once the type has been defined, you are supposed to select this type is applied to what level in the branch: a branch level fee, or a class level fee, or a student level fee. Example, if the fee is defined as a branch level, it is applied to every student in the branch. If the fee is defined as a class level, it is applied to every student in the class. If the fee is defined to the student level, it's up to the student whether he can take that fee or not. So examples are, let's take an intermediate college that has a hostel. It got hot water facility or Adobe charges. So they can define a fee called hot water on student level. The student who is interested in taking the hot water will pay that fee. So those kind of fees can be defined on the student level. I defined a couple of examples here. Development fees defined as a branch level. Infrastructure fees defined as a branch level. But hostel, tuition, library, and miscellaneous fees are defined on the class. And I had defined water bill on the student level. Like a typical example, I made this, but it's up to the client requirement on defining these fees. There is no limit. You can define as many number of fees as you want that serves your purpose. And let's go back to student classification. I defined a couple of classifications here, and we can also add these building blocks to a branch, and they can also can help them in classify the students into different categories. So these are the building blocks, and when we create a new branch, all these building blocks will be automatically assembled to the branch. Let us see how we can create a new branch. To create a new branch, click on the new branch button on the right hand side. Enter the branch details here. And school. I need to find here start date. It is January 1st, 2010. Private. Recognized by government of. Okay. Give the address for this branch. Address is going to be let's say India 032. Give some phone number. I normally put, but in reality you're supposed to give the right phone number there. And now you can also observe here, on the brand we try to create a branch, you had two tabs here, branch and assembly. The assembly tab is disabled. The reason why is after we create the branch only the assembly tab will get enabled, where you can play a bit with the assemblies. For now, just enter the branch information here and the address and save it. You can now see that branch is successfully saved. Now and the assembly tab is enabled. Let's go down to the assembly, see how it looks like. All the mandatory building blocks are already by default assembled here. The accounting, human resource, blah blah blah. Since it is a school, I was supposed to add some more departments like preschool and high school, elementary school. That's pretty much. And also add couple of designations here. I also need this in my documents required for admission. On the fee type, I'm going to add water bills, infrastructure fee, development fee, and student classifications. I want to classify everything, and save. That's pretty much you can configure a branch, and you're almost done. Now you go back to the branch. You can see here the status of the branch now is in development, which is not active. That actually means that you are still in the process of creating the branch, and this is not exposed to anyone on the outer world. So no employee or no student can log on to the branch until you set it into the active state. You can also get the branch to development at any time. At the time, basically the state will change to development, and none of your employees or anyone else can get onto the branch and do any kind of operations on the branch. So let us now make these branches active. Before I do that, I normally do for a sanity check and make sure everything is good on my branch. It got passed, so everything looks good to me, and activate it. This looks good to me. That's pretty much how to create a branch in EEMS application. Let me go back to the branches and search if I have my branch, and it is active. Sounds good. That's how you can create branches in EEMS application.